Drake is up to something. He's definitely planning something. You've all seen the 100 gigs leak that he gave us and the new songs. Today, we'll talk about his next move that will be quite important for his career. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. So as I said, you've probably all seen that new website that went live a couple of days ago, posted by this new Finsta account by Drake called Plot Twist that he then reposted on his Champagne Papi official account. And this account linked to a website called 100gigs.org where you could go to and you had 100 gigs of behind the scenes footage of him, videos of him recording, of pictures of alternate covers that we've gotten that actually look quite interesting. We've gotten alternate covers for Her Loss, but also for Certified Lover Boy and also for Care Package, which we then also got the hint at with the Care Package 2, which then turned out to be the Dark Lane demo tape. So that was pretty interesting to see in there as well. We've also, what a couple of people were talking about, had this video of him recording a reference verse for Kanye's Yikes off the 2018 Ye album that Drake is credited as a writer as. It's probably that this was a Drake track and that he then later gave this to Kanye after he kind of got the general vibe of the track and decided that this would be a better fit for Ye. So these 100 gigs, as much as they're boring, the majority of them, because it's literally just videos of him and 40 being in the studio, of some old clips that we just haven't seen. There are a little bit of funny conversations mixed in here and there, but all in all, you need to be a really hard fan to enjoy sifting through all of these, 100 gigs of actual footage. The interesting part was then, though, that he had a folder called New, where we had 3 new tracks in, which are It's Up with Young Thug and 21 Savage, Blue, Green, Red, and Housekeeping Knows with Lotto, that actually made the rounds as the most interesting part of this new website that we got, because they're new and they're not just old material or addition to old material that we already had, which makes it the most exciting for fans. We also need to consider the importance of these songs, because it's interesting. This is the first release that he's put out himself ever since his beef with Kendrick that he obviously lost and that we were then waiting on what was to come next. He did tease us a little bit right after he dropped the Hard Part 6, which was a very weak defense and convinced nobody of the fact that Not Like Us wasn't really like the last shot, the coup de grace, as Eminem would say, that hit Drake. And he said Good Times, Summer Vibes up next. Now the question is, are these 3 new songs the summer vibes that are up next? Because they also dropped on streaming. That is the next important thing. They dropped yesterday on digital streaming platforms, which is a little bit unexpected because we thought they were just leaks that he put out because they were just left over or whatever, but he actually grouped them together in an EP called 100 Gigs, so referencing to the website that they were put out on, and released them on digital streaming platforms so you can go listen to them, which makes it really interesting because now this is his first official release ever since he lost the beef. And, Drake has been doing a couple of things here and there. We've had that Wagwan Delilah remix that nobody respected. That was pretty bad, to be honest. And now we've gotten this, and it seems like Drake is trying to play around the fact that he lost the beef and that a lot of people are, looking at him to see what he does next. There's been rumors that Kendrick has another one ready and that if Drake does anything that provokes Kendrick, that he can then just release that track. Whatever the beef may be, that is completely out of the question right now. Right now it's about Drake because he released those songs, and the question is what's up next. What I also found interesting is that this wasn't a normal release. I mean, up until the point that we got these tracks on the digital streaming platforms only yesterday, it seemed like they were only available on the website. And I mean, he really got creative with putting out music after the beef because he knew that if he just put out a single like that on Spotify, on just out there officially, people would be dissecting that and looking for different things that could hint at the beef, looking at, you know, kind of like sneaky bars in there that Kendrick has been accusing Drake of using those, you know, subliminals to really get at him, which is, you know, Kendrick doesn't really respect it, though he considers them weak. Now he's put out these new songs. Even though he's put them out officially, we saw them first on the website, so we know that they're like leaks, leftovers. So that doesn't qualify them for, you know, a new release that can be analyzed and can be looked at in the wake of the beef, which, you know, he really got creative with putting out those songs after the beef. And I mean, a lot of people have been saying you need to drop 100 gigs of behind the scenes and leaks just to respond to the beef. That's pretty rough. Now, obviously, this isn't a direct response to the beef, but here's my thing. We've always talked about Drake, and we've had him in this situation a couple of times before because, for example, after For All the Dogs, I also dropped a video with, you know, that Drake is at a crossroads. He's at a split road. You know, he can go down and just keep on dropping these albums that a lot of people consider a little bit lazy, and that a lot of people say, okay, it's just a playlist of 25 songs that aren't really that characteristic, aren't that outstanding as maybe you would say on a Take Care. Each song had its own character, each song had its place on the record. Or he can sit down and drop a record that solidifies his spot again as being a really respected rapper in a sense. And this is what we talked about after For All the Dogs too, and I think that is where he's at right now as well. He's talking about these summer vibes up next. I don't think that those are the 3 singles that we've gotten, even though they're not bad. On It's Up, we have, you know, what could have been a really cool diss track from the sound of it, from the way Drake is flowing on there. On Blue, Green, Red, we've had this dancehall vibe again, maybe a leftover from Honestly Nevermind, so that was pretty cool. That, you know, if you're a fan of that, you can definitely like that. I wasn't that much of a fan of Honestly Nevermind, but I can see the appeal in that. On Housekeeping Knows, he puts on Lotto, maybe at the point of recording this, an even smaller artist. That's what he's been known to do. A pretty fun track, even though pretty shallow when it comes to the contents of the track. But, you know, I don't think these are the summer vibes. I think there's something bigger coming, and he wanted to release these new tracks as kind of a gateway to then move into the actual rollout of new music. And he needed to do it in this way because if he just dropped a single, everybody would be looking at it in the context of the beef. But these being qualified as leaks or leftovers now doesn't make them as viable to attacks from people, you know, on Kendrick's side in this sense. So we'll see what Drake does. I do believe there is a project coming, even though summer is it's not that long still in summer. You know, you got about a month left for Drake to actually drop some summer vibes, which will be interesting to see if he does something in the next coming weeks, maybe after the release of this, that'll kind of like be the new rollout plan for his album. Maybe this is part of it, but it's definitely interesting that somebody as big as Drake decides to just drop behind the scenes footage like that and give us 3 new songs in the same sense. So let me know what y'all think about this. What do you think Drake's next move is gonna be? Do you see these 3 new tracks as responses to the beef? I don't think so. They were leftovers from a couple of months, years ago. What you think about the new tracks, and do you think the beef will still continue? All your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.